youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking...
Wake up, wake up, wake up! Barbados, get up! Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you all and welcome to Wednesday, the 17th of September 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen. Good having you company. Thank you for joining us also on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb. To all of you and to each of you, we say good morning and thank you for waking up to keep us company indeed. Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning, just a couple hours of information, education, and a lot of fun. You better believe it. You know me, I get a little crazy from time to time, so good that you understand all of that. Thank you for joining us, but most of all, thank you for communicating on our socials, talking back to us as well. We really, really enjoy that. And of course, as always, I ask if you know of something or someone whose story we have to tell, then you have to tell us about it, and you can do so by sending us an email. The email address is on your screen. It is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. There's no G in there anywhere. So if you put a G, it'll come back to you. Don't put a G, leave the G out and you're good to go. So send us the email, morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And to all of you who do so, we say thanks. To those of you who are contemplating whether you should, yes, you should. And you should hit send it to us indeed. Invite us to tell the story of the people you know. There are people who are doing phenomenal things around us, and there are stories that we have to tell. There are people who you know who are abroad that you think we need to celebrate as well. Tell us about it. We appreciate you reaching out to help. Anthony Smith in the 718, good morning to you. He says good morning to the 246. From us to you, we say good morning as well, Anthony. Have a lovely day. Thank you as always for waking up early to keep us company. Rhonda Hines-Graham, Sweet Rons, good morning, a Wellness Wednesday back at your girl. She says, keep those steps and stretches going, everyone. I hear you. Good for you, Rhonda. Have a good morning indeed. Kieran Olivia, good morning as well. Have a lovely day. She's wishing all of you the best of Wednesday. Be back at you, Kieran Olivia. Have a super duper today. Faye Roach, good morning, Faye. Long time no hear. How are you doing? She says a wonderful Wednesday to everyone. She's wishing all of you a great one. And we do to you too, Faye. Make yourself known, girl. Keep watching, keep sharing, keep telling everyone else about us as well. So, Faye, it's good to have you. Bako, good morning. Bako is in New York. He's watching from Flatbush, Brooklyn. And so he says good morning to everyone, to the family and friends everywhere as well. You know, as far as I'm concerned, we are already a family, folks. And I'm happy to have to wake up to keep company with my relatives as well. So, question, what have you had for breakfast? Have tea, not coffee. Don't beat me for saying that. Have your tea. Have you done your bakes? You know, we've moved away from a lot of our Bajan traditions, which is so sad. But for those of you who still enjoy getting up and beating up that batter and frying it and having some good old bakes, the fish cakes are a little different nowadays, but I still love them nonetheless, I'm telling you. Marcia Rock, good morning to you as well. She's saying good morning to beautiful Barbados. She wants the beautiful people of Barbados to have a wonderful Wednesday. And we too to you. Have a lovely one indeed. Bajan Rock. He says, good morning, everyone. Bajan Rock, good morning to you as well. You're part of our special good mornings we extend to everyone everywhere. Watching from Canada is Awesome Slayer 34. Awesome Slayer, is that what your mother named you? What name did your mother give to you? Awesome Slayer. Talk to me, tell me now. And where in Canada are you watching us from? Good to have you. Thank you so much for watching from Canada. From Maryland, at Fort Meade, Maryland, good morning to you as well. Number 562. Good morning indeed. Have a lovely day. Give us your names. Give us your names. I like to call people by name. You know, in the human psyche, there is nothing sweeter than the sound of one's name. You hear your name and immediately you perk up. Kevin Waith, good morning to you as well. Kevin, have a lovely day as well. Good morning to you as well. Thank you for joining us as we do every morning. Isoline, I love your old-fashioned name, girl. Isoline Evans, good morning to you. Issa, have a lovely day. Wednesday to you. Wednesday greetings are extended to you as well. Now, there's a lot coming up, folks, because today is Wednesday, means that tomorrow is Thursday. And when it's Thursday, we simply call it Q Day. That's right, Q Day. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Thursday is, I said Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday. What time span am I living in? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Q Day. So tomorrow for Q in the community, we're going to the BTI's car park in Speightstown, St. Peter. So people of the north, people who are not from the north, we're celebrating with CC's Bar in the BTI car park in Speightstown. Tomorrow, Thursday, for Q in the community, as you know, it is the biggest activity on the island every single week. And so don't miss this opportunity to be seen, to dance, to play your dominoes, to engage in everything happening in the karaoke as well. In the BTI car park in Speightstown tomorrow, Thursday, Q Day. After all, a few more things we want to remind you of as well, because St. James continues to gather, and so we're encouraged to continue to gather with them. But tomorrow night, as we move from midday tomorrow, online they're having a webinar that looks at the impact of cricket on Barbados from a youth perspective. That's tomorrow. There are some highly esteemed panelists who will be sharing in that discussion, in that webinar as well. Remember, it's online. You can go to their socials, regathering.st.james, regathering St. James, st.james, and you will see all the details in terms of how you can log in. Your login details you'll see right there indeed. So I encourage you to do so tomorrow, as Tahir Bulbuli will be there. Stephen Leslie will lead that discussion, and there's so many other people from the BCA and other legends of cricket as well. So let's get to know more of the impact of cricket on our youth. As you know, cricket is a theme in September for the parish of St. James. What else is happening that we need to remind you of? We want to remind you that you can ask the expert in a panel discussion. When we ask about dementia, we'll ask about Alzheimer's. That's also happening on the 20th of September, this weekend, the 20th of September, at the Garden Seventh-day Adventist Church from 4 in the afternoon. That's in Mount Standfast, St. James. And so we want to encourage as many of you as possible to get there to know more about dementia. They have a whole panel of people who know about a range of subjects as it relates to how we treat to our elderly. So you get a chance to ask them your questions, as all of us, each of us practically, has been impacted by someone we know and love who's been living and who has lived with dementia or Alzheimer's. And so if you want to know more about how to care for, how to spot those signs as well, then the Ask the Expert session is for you on the 20th of September. Be there in the Garden Church of Seventh-day Adventist Church at Mount Standfast in St. James. And speaking of continuing our activism for Alzheimer's, there's hope. And part of that hope is your expression of your appreciation for what's happening by wearing purple, the color purple, on Fridays. So you, from people all over the world, will be wearing on Friday, the color purple in celebration of World Alzheimer's Day. And we want you to take your pictures, and you will tag the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. So wear purple hair, wear purple tie, purple shirt, purple dress, purple lipstick, purple shoes, purple. Indeed. And so take a picture of yourself or selves and you send those pictures along as well. They're going to be in the Massey in Warrens, and they're encouraging you as you go by as well to be able to purchase some of the paraphernalia. You know, when you do so, your contribution goes a long way to the ongoing work of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. So I want to encourage you to continue to lend your support to that very worthy cause. But one more thing I want to remind you of, because at the end of the month is when the deadline closes for the Frank Collymore Literacy Endowment Competition. And this one really is a very handsome reward. So for writers, poets, people into spoken word, there is a category for you. But you need to go online and see what the criteria is, complete your application, get your application in by 11:59 of the evening of September the 30th, and then stand by for that call. You will be rewarded in January next year in celebration of the birthday of Frank Collymore. But you need to get in there. We have seen so many people benefit in significant ways from that endowment, and so we want to encourage you to be a winner. You're a writer already, but get your work in. Remember, do not put your name on your manuscript. Let your name be in your application only. Do not mark your name in any way on your manuscript. You will be disqualified. So just read the rules very carefully, follow the rules, submit your work, and stand by for that call. There are tremendous opportunities waiting for you. Now, coming up today, we'll continue to look at the whole question of suicide prevention. Dr. Joy Sue and the National Action Plan. We will hear a little bit more about that coming up in just a moment. Are we contributing to some of those thoughts, suicidal thoughts, that our relatives have? Have we done so? What are some of the triggers? Can you spot those signs? Those are questions we want answers to this morning. The Barbados Public Workers Credit Union, they're having a legacy foundation. They've launched it already, but wouldn't you like to know how it works? I would. And so this morning, you need to stick around to find out how that legacy foundation works and how you too can benefit from or contribute to. Those questions we'll have to those folks when they join us in just a little while. And there's a school in Barbados that is marking its 50th anniversary. They have been known to put out some notables through the education gathered therein. And so we will talk to them about how they're marking that significant milestone and what else is left on the calendar in this month of September as they mark the 50th anniversary of the Graydon Sealy School. So we can't wait to talk to them about that and a whole lot more. Plus, we'll also be reminding you of that lovely lady known as Margajata Vasileska, the outgoing EU ambassador to Barbados and the Caribbean. She's now retired. Had a chance to sit and talk to her. Can't wait to share with you what we spoke about as well this morning. But let's get started at 11.5 minutes after 6 o'clock. Yeah, I've been talking for a little while. Shut up, Pearson. Let other people talk. Dr. Joy Sue is here, and she's brought along with her Keisha Sherland, who is a social worker and a community mental health services, as we continue to look at mental health, particularly as we in this month look at suicide prevention. And so, Dr. Sue and Keisha, good morning.
Good morning.
As always, Dr. Sue, good to have you.
Thank you.
Let's break this down, because a lot of times we still don't know the signs to look for when our loved ones are struggling and are contemplating ending their journey here on earth. So that we get it, can you share with us some of the things that we miss?
Before I do that, I'd just like to say, last week, Wednesday, when I was here afterwards, the teams, all of our community teams went out in different areas and we did walkthroughs in the community, asking just this, asking people, do you know the signs or do you know any risk factors for suicide? And we got some interesting results. We had some fun and we had some interaction with persons from different companies. I'd like to shout out some of those companies. So myself and Ms. Sherlin, we were in Oystons with community mental health nurse Watson and our counseling psychologist, Ms. Hines. And we went around to various businesses. We had a lot of good interaction from the persons at Rubis and Number One Beauty Supply, Massey Pharmacy. So we went to several, the gym that's upstairs. And people were very interested in mental health, interested in even having literature handed out from their businesses about mental health. And we asked them, the most common sign that persons reported that they knew was that persons get more withdrawn.
Yes.
So social withdrawal. That was the number one thing that most persons said. But persons weren't too familiar with some of the other signs. And so it was like a teaching moment for us to educate, which is what we're here to do. So some of the more common signs that you might see include, I'd like to start with the most common. Persons will tell you that they're thinking about harming themselves. And would you believe people say that and a lot of people ignore it, which is a huge problem. So someone will say that. If someone says that to you, always take it seriously. And then persons might say, they might not say, I'm thinking about killing myself. They may say that they feel like life is hopeless. They feel as if they don't have any options anymore, or they feel trapped. They feel like they're a burden to their loved ones, that they would be better off, not being here. I feel like running away. These are some of the problem things that persons might actually be saying to you. Or the person is kind of like preoccupied with death and dying. So those are some of the things person might say. But then some of the other things you can look for. We talked last week about mood. So changes in mood is not only being withdrawn and be depressed, or you might be anxious, but also persons might be in a rage. They might be very irritable, so it can be the opposite as well. Then persons might be having trouble with sleeping. You might notice appetite changes. Now these are also signs of depression. So persons might not be eating. And you might also see persons making preparations. And under that category, if you look at, say, if it's a child, if you have an adolescent or someone who's thinking that, you might look at their browser history in the computer and see that they're searching for ways, methods that they can do this. Persons might also be going out, older persons might be going out and buying things to do this. They might be calling up their friends and saying goodbye. You don't realize it until in retrospect something has happened that this person was actually saying goodbye to you. Or they might call you up and start giving away their belongings. And that's because when I like to tell people, when you see that, that's because that's a person that knows that something is going to happen in the future. How can you know that? There are only certain circumstances under which you will know that. So these are some of the signs that you look for. Persons might engage in reckless behavior. So start driving recklessly. As I said, these are like preparatory behaviors. Cutting. So persons who cut, that's also can be a sign that they might be, they might want to harm themselves. So you have to take the same thing. Persons who cut. Normally, persons who cut, it is not that they want to harm. They might want to just change emotional pain into physical pain, but you have to take each episode seriously because you don't know. And then there's the alcohol use, which can be very problematic. So persons might increase their use of alcohol or other substances, and that is problematic because the alcohol is going to disinhibit. And so you might be ambivalent. You might be thinking, do I want to do this? I don't want to do this. You might not really want to do this, but then you don't drink the alcohol, and it gives you that kind of courage or or disinhibit, so that that judgment is gone, and then you go through with that act. So that's a comprehensive list then of the warning signs.
I feel helpless, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that way as well, because your loved one comes and says, I am not enjoying living anymore, and suddenly you feel shaken to the core, because for you now, you're searching for that hope, that little bit of hope that you want to give to them, that light that you want to give them, but your emotions have overwhelmed you already. So what can we say to people watching today who are met with either all of or some of those factors that you've just outlined, those triggers that we ignore simply because we ourselves can't cope?
A lot of people feel, as you said, helpless, like they don't know what to say. And I like to say that's okay. Because for me, I'm always preaching the same thing. Listen, listen, listen. We concentrate too much on talking. Listen. So first, listen. You can ask them some simple questions. Keep it short. So you might have a suspicion the person hasn't actually said it, but you ask them, are you thinking about killing yourself? There's nothing wrong with asking that outright, because getting the person to engage and talk about it might actually help. You might ask them, have you sat down and have you made a plan to do this? Because you want to see how far this has gone. And then you might want to ask them, why are you thinking this? And listen without judging. Don't say things, this is what we don't want you to do. Don't say things like, hey, but people got it worse. What do you think about this? Wrong thing to say. If you say that, the person is going to shut right down. Because right away you're invalidating their feelings. So don't say those things. So just listen without judgment. Then maybe you want to tell the person, I'm here for you. If you need to get help, I'll go with you. I'll be here throughout the process. Maybe do you want me to call someone? Perhaps you need to take that step and make the call for that person. You want me to call someone? Maybe you call Mornin Barbados, get them to talk to someone, or you call another professional, you make an appointment for them, anything like that. And I also like to add, because for some persons, they're going to say they don't want help. But if you think that person is really at risk, you have a responsibility to make sure that person gets help, even if it means calling, say, like the assessment unit for the psychiatric hospital to get that person help, even when they don't want it, because we want to preserve life.
You mentioned something that was so important, because you talked about when sometimes we just, what are you worrying about? Life is so good. What do you have to worry about? You have a good job. We have all of those things because we want to shut it down. But then that's because we don't know what to do. As well.
Exactly.
I'm not just I don't want to hear it. I don't know what to do. And you're suggesting that we should reach out to help from someone who can help, rather than trying to simply carry it alone.
Exactly.
And in our ignorance, we do want to carry it alone. We carry it alone because we don't want anyone else to know that my loved one is in here telling me these horrible things. And so we become afraid ourselves, and we either want to protect you or to distance ourselves from you because I don't want to know. Is Keisha are you one of those people we can reach out to as a social worker here to say, help me, please?
Yes, for sure. Because sometimes persons are going through a lot of circumstances. They may not necessarily, need a psychiatrist, but they're going through financial difficulties. It might be relating to housing. It might be relating to just getting school supplies, the financial pressures, so many things. They have the elderly. Sometimes they need that home health assistance, they're having their physical challenges like eyesight. We see persons, having difficulties with their eyesight, their mobility. So they need that person to just come in and cook and relieve them of some of the pressures. So a lot of persons, when they come to us, they will talk to the psychiatrist or the psychologist, but it's a physical need that they have. They need finances, they need physical help. So that is where I come in as a social worker to give them access to these resources and just, on their behalf,
Let's look at the family dynamic for just a moment, because not every household is the same. There are some households that are nuclear. We know them all, the mommy, daddy, uncle, aunt, everybody living happily ever after. And then there are some who are so disoriented in whatever ways. And so they struggle. And there's one person in the midst who is struggling. And you can't somehow put your finger on where did it start. Can that be one of the triggers, the whole dynamic of the family, to this person having suicide ideation?
Yes, for sure, because we see a single parent, you have, a lot of children and stuff like that. So they may be lacking attention, they may not have the school supplies or whatever they need. So this can also trigger them because they feel, I'm not good enough. I'm not like my classmates. I don't have what they have. So all of these things, and they may experience bullying at school, all of these things help trigger these emotions of feeling less than, and children having low self-esteem. So yes, the family as we see it is no longer, the perfect nuclear family. Sometimes you have children living with a grandmother. The parent doesn't want to have anything to do with the child. Those are things that we see. So all of that, you have to be mindful. And I would, caregivers, really pay attention to your children, especially your adolescents, your teens, make sure the door is open for them to come to talk to you about anything. Yeah. So
speaking of doors, Dr. Sue, you get that teenage, and then suddenly you want your privacy. So when the bedroom was wide open, door was wide open, suddenly the bedroom door is shut. Because I'm an adult now, therefore I need my own space. Could that be a concerning point for a caregiver, a parent?
It depends. You want them to have some level of privacy, but you also have to know what's going on with them. So it's a very thin line to walk. I'm not going to pretend that I necessarily know that line because I don't have children of my own. I have a stepdaughter. Miss Sherlyn has a
so you know what
young, yes, right? So she would know how to navigate that line better than I would. Sure. But yes, you, to some extent, you have to check to see what your children are doing. I find nowadays, I hate to say it, but perhaps the internet is raising a lot of kids. And it's not that I'm judging parents. A lot of parents, like Keisha was saying, a lot of parents have a lot of pressures. So some parents are working 2-3 jobs and they're not there to do the supervision that used to happen before because they don't also have the extended family there. Like when I was growing up, for instance, you had your grandmother, you had your aunts, you had everybody around you. So all kinds of persons share that caregiving role for that child and the supervision role. But sometimes kids are left on their own a lot. You have to know what your kids are doing. There are things like parental controls that you can have over, for internet use and tablet use, the devices, yes, so that you can control what your kids are seeing, or at least know what your kids are seeing. Don't just leave your child with the tablet there unattended, because children, they know how to use the technology better than us, and they will get into watching all kinds of things, and then your child is having nightmares and you don't know why. It's because they're looking at something they shouldn't have been looking at. And then you got to look in things in their room too to see what they're bringing in. Sometimes they have, I hate to say it, but drugs in your household and you don't know it. Some parents don't know that their children are out there, they're smoking or they're using alcohol. So you have to keep track of those things as a parent.
Let's talk about the relationship between the social worker and the psychiatrist now when situations like these occur. How does that work?
Well, in our setting, in community setting, most of the time the referrals are going to come to me. And I will do one of two things. If the referral comes to me sometimes, because there's a whole team, as I said, we have a psychologist as well. I might do a short interview or an assessment and decide who is more appropriate to see this person, whether the person needs primarily my help, the psychiatrist, a medical doctor. They might need a counseling psychologist. But I will tell you, a lot of the persons do need a social worker as well, because as she said, it's okay if I'm seeing a person who's depressed. Yes, I can give you treatment for this, we can give you counseling for this, but then the person has real underlying problems that need tangible responses to help them. So you're depressed because you have problems with housing, you don't have anywhere to live, or the place where you're living is in disrepair, your roof is leaking, termites, we have persons whose homes are in very bad condition. See, so that's where Miss Sherlyn is going to come in. So I'll send a referral to Miss Sherlyn. She'll go and make a home visit, assess, those kind of needs assessment, and then see which agencies can help. And she would reach out and be that go-between. Because a lot of the times, too, persons are trying to access services from other agencies. But it can be a difficult process, especially if you are feeling depressed or you have a mental health problem. And sometimes I don't think that there's the understanding of that. So you don't have that kind of resilience or the coping to go through the process and the paperwork and so on that it takes to apply for these services. And Ms. Sherlyn will bridge that gap and help persons with that process, whether it's welfare or right.
Right. And so, fine. The circumstance led to this outcome where you had to attend a psychiatrist, psychologist, or get other help. The circumstance is not necessarily going to change when I'm done with my help. So, at what point does the social worker, Keisha, help to prepare for the return of the loved one to that home?
Well, we try our best as they're going through their therapy, to be there, to always have an open door where they can call. And we also go out and have meetings with the family members as well to see how best we could, get the relationships mended and see how best we can work with them to make it just a little bit better. Because sometimes, even though persons may be going through difficulties, they really appreciate a listening ear, a phone call, checking up just to see how things are going. So,
do you get the, I don't want you back in here? Y'all could keep him. Do you get that sometimes?
Yes. Yes, we do. But we try very hard because persons with mental health challenges, they need the support of family. The support of family helps them to get better, faster. It really helps them through the process. So we try to encourage.
I know, Dr. Sue, this is something we've been talking about almost all year long so far. The need for that community care, the household care, and the household to be prepared for how they manage going forward. Let's talk a little bit about that.
But as Ms. Sherlyn said, we try to get the family involved. So if a client, for instance, is admitted to the hospital, you want to ideally have the family involved before you send the client home. So that's called discharge planning. So you want to have meetings with the family and get them explain the condition, because a lot of times they kind of hold persons in mind. And a lot of that comes from not understanding their condition and not understanding that some of the things the person did before they were admitted were related to that condition. And it wasn't that the person was being wicked or that the person hated them or that the person was doing this thing on purpose. And so sometimes when you break that down, persons are a lot more accepting. And I remember there's one parent in particular that I had a conversation with, because sometimes you have to adjust persons' expectations as well. Persons come into the hospital, people expect to get their relative back at 100%.
Yes.
Especially when it's a first admission, you want your relative back the way the person was before they got ill. And honestly, sometimes that just isn't possible. So you have to also adjust persons' expectations and say, because of the illness, this has happened. This person may not get back to this level of function, but we will try to make the person as functional as possible. So then they have to adjust to that new new setting, that new, normal for them. And that sometimes that's very hard, especially when it's parents. So
it has to be hard. You want the perfect baby from birth to death. The perfect baby all the time, where everything functions correctly. But then somewhere along the way, this happened. And so on its return, y'all should fix it and send this child of mine back to me. And so that's the expectation. You're quite right. And sometimes that expectation is dashed simply because we were not ourselves prepared. We were not ourselves, but this is where you say, Keisha, the social worker really helps to create the environment where you understand what it is that's coming back through the door. Yeah. Because, you rid yourself of it. That's the way a lot of people see it as. I rid myself of this problem, and here was peaceful, and now you brought this problem back to me. And the reality is, it is community care. Yes. It is all about community care. This loved one is yours, and so you must join and be a part of this particular care plan going forward. And part of that care plan, sometimes, Dr. Sue, could be medication or just a change of the dynamic.
Yeah, so everybody that sees us doesn't get medication. Sometimes they just need to improve their coping skills. Sometimes they need an actual change, like Ms. Sherlin can help them with, but sometimes they need to change their perspective. So we need to change how they cope with the environment that they're in. So I want to dispel that myth. Not everybody that comes to the clinic has to get medication. People have that idea, and it deters them from seeking treatment or seeking help, but it's not all about medication.
I want to talk about what for me is heartbreaking when it's the youth, the children who are struggling, and how we as the caregivers and adults can work with the children, and what are the structures we need to have in the house so that our children thrive. We'll talk about that when we come right back after this break.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray microbiome probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scald, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support.
We're 26 minutes away from 7 o'clock. We're with Dr. Joy Su, who, as you know, is the chair of the hospital's suicide prevention program at the psychiatric hospital. She's also a consultant psychiatrist. With her is Keisha Sutherland, a social worker who is also a community mental health service in the community mental health services. And so we're looking at suicide prevention. It's so important that we take a look at this. We talked in our first segment a little bit about how we spot the signs, how we need to be careful how we respond and not ignore those signs when they do happen, and some of the household conditions that sometimes precipitate why a loved one is having those kinds of thoughts. I want to go further into that because as it relates to our young people and our children, Dr. Sue, because it hurts me to think that children struggle with acceptance, understanding, appreciation, love, all of those things that make them feel discarded, not a part of. Let's talk about some of those conditions that exist and how we as adults need to adjust so that we don't create that within our children.
All right, so there are certain conditions, medical conditions that are more associated with suicide, depression being probably the top one. So like 60 to 70% of suicide, persons who die by suicide probably have a diagnosis of depression. And it's not just what we call unipolar depression, but there's bipolar depression. And I know we've been talking a lot about conditions recently, so a lot of persons are familiar with what bipolar disorder is, which is, like it says, two poles. So you have mania, which is where your mood is more elevated, you have racing thoughts, your energy is high, you have all these wonderful thoughts, but because you're having them all at the same time, sometimes you can't actually, make good on those great ideas that you have. And then the other end is the depression, where you don't have the energy, you withdraw, your appetite is poor, you can't sleep. So it's the opposite end. So for persons who have bipolar depression in that depressed phase, they're at a high risk. But it's also other conditions as well. So persons we talked about alcohol. Mm-hmm. So persons who abuse alcohol and have substance use disorders have about 6 times increased risk of dying by suicide. And then more rare, but it can happen, persons who have schizophrenia, which is persons who would have hallucinations. So they might be hearing voices. That's one of the most common symptoms of schizophrenia. Sometimes those voices can tell them to harm themselves. Or sometimes those voices are so persecutory, meaning they're telling the person all kinds of bad things about themselves. So it's almost like there's a running commentary in your head about you, saying all kinds of negative things. You are this, you are the next. And sometimes persons feel like they have to escape from that. Or sometimes it's something like it's saying somebody's out to get you, or all these persons are out to get you, and you feel trapped. You can't get away, and then you feel like harming yourself is a logical solution to that. So these are some of the conditions that can really predispose. There are other things too. So conditions that involve persons being impulsive. Things like conduct disorder, which is a condition we see in children, actually. Where the children have severe behavioral problems. So those conditions can also predispose more to persons dying by suicide. So we don't want our children to develop those conditions. And what you said is true. A lot of children have problems with self-esteem. Self-esteem. But where does a child get self-esteem from? So that's the question. We are the ones that are supposed to build up the child's self-esteem. We are supposed to be the one telling the children positive and encouraging things. If you're doing the opposite, you're placing that child at risk for mental health problems later down the road.
Environments. There's the school environment as well. And I'm not pulling down any school at all. I'm just saying that's the reality. You've cocooned your child, so to speak, at a particular primary school or preschool because you scouted it out. Then the child sat an exam that took them into another space with so many other thousands of people who are coming from wherever else. And so your child now finds herself swimming in a different sea, and the child struggles. And sometimes they come home and they do the things that we've spoken about that the adults do, and we pay no attention to. it. We're figuring, get on with life because I'm getting on with mine. I have to go to work, you have to go to school, do you? I'm leaving you here. Don't forget to catch the bus at 7:30 to get to school on time. I'm gone. See you when I come back. We do all those things and we miss those kinds of screams from the child. Are those screams similar to the screams that are coming from the mouths of our adults? Or children express in different ways?
Similar, but yes, children express it in different ways. So a child is not going to come to me and say, I feel depressed, Dr. Sue. Highly unlikely. But children may act out. So that child who's being disruptive in the class and giving all kinds of problems might actually be depressed as well. So there are different ways. The child might be withdrawn too, might not be talking as much, but it could be the opposite way, as I say. So you can have children who are what we call externalizing, so they're acting out, and that's because, yes, their self-esteem is low, they're feeling down and depressed too, they feel that they don't get attention at home, so they're getting that attention in another way, and people misinterpret that and don't realize why it's happening.
But I take you to the mall. I do all of those things, you know. When the weekends come, I do try to spend time with you, and you are telling me that that is not enough? There are parents who feel guilty in that kind of way. I took you to the mall.
Yeah, you're taking the child to the mall, you're giving them the material things, maybe even you're spending the quality time. What's happening with the child at school? That's not the only environment. Perhaps the child is going to school or in their neighborhood peer groups. They just don't fit in. They just feel like they don't fit in. They're not accepted. They're being bullied. As Ms. Sherlin was saying, they don't have a particular... Things are so materialistic nowadays. Actually, it's very annoying. If you don't have spray ground or some brand name bag, you get laughed at school. So it's those kind of things. And then sometimes our teachers are under a lot of pressure. I have the greatest and utmost respect for them, so I don't want to pull them down in any way. But sometimes a word from a teacher can be enough to go plummet that child's self-esteem because it's said in front of the class too. So if you say something negative to that child, it can have a big impact.
Yeah.
So all those things. So yes, sometimes parents are doing the best that they can. Sometimes they're not.
Right.
But anyhow, but some parents are doing the best that they can, and even though they do, you cannot be with your child 24/7. Your child has to be in other environments, and things can happen to them in those other environments.
Speaking of community, this is where you come into work now here, because the community is not just, Keisha, the family alone. It is the wider community. Where I live, where I go to school, where I worship, all of it, and it ripples out further and further. Let's talk about getting the family right so that the family is able to understand the dynamics in totality, not simply within the four walls of the house, as it relates to community.
Community? Okay, well, the family has to realize, as Dr. Sue said, you know, the child is going to school, so they have that impact. They have their peers, you know, looking at them, judging them, and as you said, children who sit the 11 plus, they're now going into this sea of children from all over, you know, and they want to fit in, you know, and they have extra schoolwork to do. So it's like a burden on them. So you need to be able to sit with your child as a parent, you know, and just explain that, you know, you're there for them. You know, we know that it's a lot of schoolwork, but you can handle it. So parents need to build up the children. Also, the church needs to be there involved in the children, because right now we don't see a lot of children going to Sunday school. That was something that we had, you know. But just have your children in church. I know a lot of people don't like church, but it helps them, you know, to have positive morals. It helps to build up their self-esteem because they know who they are, you know, in God. So it is a whole community that needs to be there for our children. Everybody has to play their part. They have to be mindful of their words and what they say to children. Yes, every child is not, nobody's perfect, so every child is not perfect. But at the same time, you can plant a seed of positivity. You can do something to help the youngsters.
The act of play, Dr. Sue, play tells us a lot, I think. You could see how the child thinks, you see how the child responds, you get a sense of the child's appreciation for so much. So talk to me about the benefit of play, because a lot of times as adults we tend to think, I don't have the time, I'm too tired, and I don't want to get outside and play with you. I don't want to be a part of your game because that's for you. That's 3+. You play that game, that's not for me. Let's talk about play for just a moment and trying to have that open channel so that we are always in touch with what our children are experiencing.
Yeah, the psychologist would tell you that there's actually something called play therapy. So we use that to see what is going through the child's mind, how the child plays. If this child is a child who's going to be, you know, one that can cooperate, if they're competitive. So it, as it said, it can tell you a lot about what's going on. It's important, I think, to engage with your children with play. I make time to do that with my niece.
Guilty
and
as
I
charged,
absolutely
too.
love it.
Yes.
So yeah, because it shows you where your level of thinking that child. So I used to use it in the clinic, for instance, to see what the child's constant. So if I have a child who I'm assessing for, say, AD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I want to see what their concentration span is like, how they're able to organize different things within play. All of that tells you. But it's not only just play. I give them things to draw. All right, I want to see what that child is going to draw. If I say, draw your family, I want to see what this family is going to look like. You have a mother, you have a father. Do you have both of those persons in the picture? Do you have mother, father, or do you have mother, your siblings holding hand? There's this figure in the back. Sometimes you get some interesting things out of kids. So yes, play is an important part of children's development, and for you, the parent, engaging in play with your child can keep you up to date on what is really going through your child's mind.
I think parents also need to be intentional in the play and not think it's a thing that I could do when I can. Be intentional. So if you know the weekends are times that you have a little more time on your hand, be intentional of spending time in whatever the play activity the child is engaged in. Don't try to, you say we shall play, let the child tell you what it wants to play, and the child will tell you a whole lot. Especially if the child wants to play school and all it's doing is sharing lashes. It tells you a lot about the school's environment indeed. It tells you what the teacher, because children repeat what they see and what they learn. And so you learn a lot by play indeed. And this is all part of your ability to be able to have that communication with your child and to be able to understand when your child is struggling, when that child is struggling, and what you need to do as well. I know you have the health fair coming up. I don't want the time to slip in without us reminding folks of the upcoming health fair, Dr. Sue.
Yes, so we have a health fair on September 27th at Mahika Playing Field. Apparently,
that's next weekend?
Yes, next weekend, next Saturday, next Saturday, people. And people were getting confused with the Mahika part. Mahika Playing Field is in Spikestown, next to the bus stand, for all those who don't know.
That's
So
right.
it's a big open field, lots of space, and in a busy area, so good location. And we're going to be having a number of exhibitors. Last week, Kat got my tongue, couldn't remember all, so I brought a list.
Yes, ma'am.
So aside from the ones I mentioned last week, we have, so I'm part of the Mental Health Commission, so of course the National Mental Health Commission will have a booth. We will be continuing that conversation on what we're doing to update the Mental Health Act. We're going to have the St. Peter Parish Independence Committee and the St. Lucie Parish Independence Committee there having their booths, telling people what they've been doing. We're going to have representatives from the Note Project and Let's Unpack It. Those are two dynamic youth groups, especially Let's Unpack It. I do work with them. They're partners on a school program that we're trying to pilot. These are very dynamic young people.
I know them.
Yes, and the Note Project is a young lady. She's also associated with Let's Unpack It as well, but is a young lady who started this kind of movement to give persons affirmations, to give you little notes with feel-good things on it, and from that started a whole organization. So then we have the National Nutrition Center will be there. You know that they've been trying to get this ban on marketing in the schools and so on. So this is important as well. You know that I'm also a part of that. And then we have things like Guardian Life. We have NCSA, National Council on Substance Abuse, will be there. I hope they bring their goggles. And we have the Vocational Training Board. We have CASA, and we have the Substance Abuse Foundation, and Equals, and the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies.
So folks, on the 27th from 11 in the morning till night, you can be right there at the bus stand next to the bus stand, the playing field next to the bus terminal in Spikestown. It's open to everyone, the family. Come on down. Things for children, things for the adults, things for all of us indeed to come. Got to leave it right there, Dr. Sue. As always, you know. But there's another Wednesday coming next week if it be the will of the Lord. So you'll be back then, and we can talk some more about this ahead of it indeed. Thank you, Dr. Joy Sue. Thank you so much, Keisha Sutherland, as well for joining us this morning. I wish you well, both of you ladies, and thank you for the information. You're welcome. We're coming back in just a moment.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 10 minutes now to 7 o'clock. Hanif Moore is the Program Development Coordinator with the Legacy Foundation, which is an arm of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. This initiative is outstanding, so we want to know more, and he joins us now. Good morning to you, Hanif.
Morning, Pearson.
Good.
And morning to Barbados. And
good to have you. So tell us about the Legacy Foundation. Why was it started?
So Legacy Foundation was started really as an initiative by the members of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited and the group of companies, which includes Capita Financial, Capita Insurance Brokers, and our arm in St. Lucia was Capita St. Lucia. Mm-hmm. We were established back in 2013, so we've been around 12 years almost. As a community partner that provides grant funding. Mm-hmm. Right, for projects that have a real broad community impact. As you know, Pearson, the credit union does great work, member to member. Mm-hmm. And as the largest indigenous financial institution, the members thought they wanted to do more. So expand our reach beyond just a membership.
So it's a bit of a give back of sort.
Yeah, we're a grant funder.
As a grant funder to whom?
To organizations, nonprofits, schools, grassroots organizations, community groups, mm-hmm. individuals, anyone who has a project that has a community impact. A
project with a community impact, then you can be given grant funding.
You can apply for grant funding.
Apply for and receive grant funding through the Legacy Foundation, a part of the Barbados Public Workers. Do I have to be a member of the credit union to be able to benefit from this grant?
No, you don't. And that's why Legacy was created, mm-hmm. so that we can work with anyone in Barbados.
Mm-hmm. So the main criteria is that my efforts are to help others. That's one of the main criteria. What other criteria would either qualify me or disqualify me from receiving grants?
Right, so our funding criteria are, we focus on wellness, empowerment, and learning. So if your project has meets one of those criteria, you can apply for funding.
Wellness,
empowerment and learning.
So if your project is engaged in any of those ways, then you can apply. How does one apply for the funding?
So you visit our website, legacyfoundation.bb, or how to apply page, mm-hmm. or funding application form is available on the site. It's a fillable form. You complete that and submit to the foundation. Mm-hmm. The instructions are there, but you submit either via email to info@legacyfoundation.bb, or you can drop your funding application off at any branch of the credit union.
The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. It's running on your screen, folks. You'll see what you will see when you get on that page, legacyfoundation.bb, and then you begin to complete your application either in wellness, empowerment, or education. Am I right?
Learning.
Yes. Same thing. And so good luck to all of you when you do so. Is there a deadline for any, or is it time sensitive when one applies?
It's not. We just published our open call for grants 2025. So we're open. You can apply at any point. The grant does remain open year round.
Right, okay.
But we like to sometimes narrow the window because it takes time sometimes to process all those applications that are coming in and make sure we're meeting the needs of everyone.
Right. So apply today and wait to hear. Now, in that application, I wish I could have seen the application form so I get a sense of what is required of me. Do you need my financials? Do you need all of those details, or just a description of what I do?
So we need a bit more detail than that. Or grants aren't capped. So we've done grants as small as 5,000 and as large as 300,000. And it depends on the type of organization you are. So if you're a school that's applying, we don't need financials because we know who you are. If you are a community organization, an individual applying for your community, we'll need a little bit more information because we are aligned with a financial services business. So we do a little bit more due diligence. And of course, we always have to be cognizant of money laundering. So, and that forms part of the regulatory space that governs foundations and charities in Barbados.
As it goes, so, okay, I've been granted, I've been successful in the grant. Do you monitor with me for the duration or for some period of time?
I monitor with you throughout the cycle of the grant, the life cycle. We see ourselves as a partner. So we develop that relationship with you. Because what we want is for your project to be successful. So we also look for sustainability. How does this grant, which we look at as investing in people, sustain itself? Yeah?
And that's important because that's what you do at the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. You build the community one member at a time, yes, but you build a community with the way that you set roots. And so this Legacy Foundation provides you with the funding to be able to continue to build your tree up so that as it grows, it provides a kind of shade. But as it grows, it drops its fruit for others to grow as well. So if you're so minded, or your organization or school is so minded, you really should go on to legacyfoundation.bb and complete the application form. As Hanif told you, the grant could be limitless. They have the sky literally is always the limit. Of course, at their assessment, they will also determine that level. Do I apply for the amount, or do you determine that amount of grant funding that you give?
You apply for the amount.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to set your budget, how you're going to manage that fund, and what you're going to do with the funding. So all of that is noted within the funding application.
Right. Right, so it's easy to fill in because it guides you. The application guides you as to what it is that they're looking for. So you just fill it in accordingly, be as honest and as open. Don't lie, because they will do the due diligence and they'll see. So all of it is on your screen, the funding application cover sheet, what you need to fill in, the details that they will need from you. And it's as simple as that. Is this Legacy Foundation only open to providing grant funding to Barbadians alone? Or if there's a Barbadian in the diaspora who's watching, who are saying, even in New York, there's something I'm doing here that maybe I can get some help with?
So our funding is restricted to projects in Barbados.
Okay.
Where the need is greatest. How a viewer in New York, in the diaspora, can help is if they're interested in donating to the foundation. Because we're also open to funding from others who want to give back and help here in Barbados. So on our website, again, it actually gives you the details of how to donate. Barbadians worldwide can also reach out to me. Our number is 622-9199.
622-19...
9199. 622-9199. Or send me an email, info@legacyfoundation.bb. And of course our social, which is @Legacy Barbados. Very easy to remember.
Indeed, indeed.
And all of the information on the open call is there. You can see the types of projects that we've done and see the impact that Legacy is making in Barbados today.
Fantastic. So legacyfoundation.bb. Remember, your grant, they will stay with you for the duration of the grant that they've extended to you. They will monitor it with you. They will continue to give you advice. They will help you along the way. But it's open to schools, organizations, different groups, individuals as well. So once you go on and you apply for your grant, state what it is that you're looking for, state for why you need this grant funding, make your case literally, and then the Legacy Foundation will assist you. Because it's allied to a financial institution, they will do their due diligence just to make sure that everything is, as we say in Barbados, kosher, and then thereafter the funding is yours, and then you build and you grow from there. If you're a viewer from overseas and you want to be able to lend to this organization simply because you want to give so that someone else benefits from your gift, do reach out to the Legacy Foundation and see how you can donate. Drop an email to them or just give them a call, 622-9199, and let them help you begin to your entrepreneurial journey as well by you empowering someone else. This is all part of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and it is making a tremendous difference now for more than 13 years. And so the stories you can see on the website legacyfoundation.bb of how people have grown up through this Legacy Foundation and how people have benefited from. And so you can now be inspired equally as well. So a grant is there for you. You have to take the opportunity to apply for it now, folks. Legacyfoundation.bb. Go fill it in, get it in. No, they're not going to say by midnight tomorrow. They're saying just apply. The committee will sit, they will review, and they'll make contact with you to offer you the grant. State what it is that you want, state what it is that you're doing, and they will read between the lines thereafter to see how they can help you indeed. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else you'd want to add, Mr. Moore?
No, I think personally you've covered it very well. I just wanted to speak to a couple of the projects that we've done. Most recently, or what we call a new growth aquaponics and farming project. We launched that pilot at Ellerton Primary School and at Grantley Adams Secondary as a secondary school. And those are scalable projects. It brings agricultural science to the schools and teaches the students more that agriculture is more than just working in the field. Yeah, farming is more than just that. It's the science behind it. It's the business aspect behind farming. It is the marketing if you're taking your goods to market. So that is one of our marquee projects that we've launched. And I've actually got a couple more schools lining up to have that project put into their school.
Brilliant. See, that's what the Legacy Foundation does. They build legacy. They build with you your legacy as well. And so legacyfoundation.bb is the website to which you go and you get your grant. And good luck with your efforts as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I commend the work of the Legacy Foundation Barbados, indeed, and the work of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited for not seeing yourselves as just being a partner in the financial bits, but how can you simply empower people, empower a community, build a community through the efforts of the community. And I like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Hanif Moore, Program Development Coordinator with Legacy Foundation Barbados, an arm of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. You do not have to be a member to be able to get a grant. You really don't. You just need to apply for the grant, and they'll take it from there. Mornin Barbados comes right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor as He does.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now. The Maria Holder Nursery School at Gall Hill has created history by becoming the first early childhood development center of excellence. Education authorities gathered at that facility yesterday to launch the new School of Excellence, Center of Excellence, which will eventually be replicated across the island as part of the ministry's transformation agenda. Anesta Henry has that story.
A proud moment for Barbados. That's how Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman describes the Maria Holder Nursery School at Gall Hill, Christchurch, becoming the first early childhood development center of excellence. He says this project will be the benchmark of education excellence in Barbados.
And what does that mean for the country? Early childhood education is not just about having your children come, as we call it, for daycare. The science has shown that children between the ages of 3 and 5, those years are the formative years in which once they can learn new concepts and new exciting things, that goes on for the rest of their life in terms of development and the prospects for development. And therefore the country can be happy this morning that we've now taken that bold decision.
Minister Blackman says that the question now is how do the authorities ensure this center of excellence is replicated across the country?
Not just at this level, but the primary level, the secondary level. And what is the purpose of that? If we're to be number one in the world, every aspect of the education system in Barbados has to be benchmarked with excellence. So therefore the ministry will be focusing significantly on ensuring that we can now put everything through a rigor to stand scrutiny anywhere in the world.
This nursery will be a lab school where those enrolled at Urdiston Teachers Training College will visit to observe best practices.
And the findings that we get from this lab school will inform how we roll out across the entire education system when it comes to pre-primary education.
For the nursery school to become a center of excellence, the teaching staff went through extensive training between 2022 and 2023 in the area of play-based approaches. Additionally, there has been investment in boosting the physical resources.
If you look at the grounds, you will realize that there is you have the horses, the areas for children to play. There are also learning corners where the children can go and interact with different materials. They have a literacy corner, they have a theater corner, different kinds of corners.
Specially invited guests, including principals and other stakeholders, were treated to a special performance from the little ones at the nursery school. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Former Minister of Health and Wellness, Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honorable Jeffrey Bostic, has been nominated to be the next President of Barbados. That announcement was made by Deputy Speaker of the House, Neil Rowe, during a sitting yesterday.
Section 2(1) of the Constitution of Barbados provides for the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition to jointly nominate a person to be elected as President of Barbados. I have the honor to inform you that Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honorable Jeffrey Davison Bostic, FB, in VO, has assented to the proposal to be nominated as President and Head of State of Barbados by myself as Prime Minister and by the Leader of Opposition, the Honorable Ralph Thorne, KC, MP. I therefore officially advise you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, of the jointly nomination of Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honorable Jeffrey Davison Bostic, FB, NVO, by the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition in accordance with Section 32(1) and 2 of the Constitution of Barbados.
Lieutenant Colonel Bostic represented the city of Bridgetown twice under the Barbados Labour Party and was the Minister of Health who steered the country through the COVID-19 pandemic. He subsequently penned a book titled No Retreat, No Surrender, chronicling the journey through the pandemic, the aftermath of a freak storm, Hurricane Elsa, and the eruption of the volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Tourist Accommodation Bill 2025 was debated in that lower house yesterday. It requires all short-term rental operators, such as Airbnbs, to be licensed, inspected and registered, with stiff fines for non-compliance. It also mandates universal accessibility in new accommodations, giving existing ones 5 years to comply or seek exemptions. Additionally, the bill extends licenses to 2 years and sets comprehensive standards, including emergency and complaint procedures. Tourism Minister Ian Gooding-Edgell shared some of the details while leading off the debate.
If persons are going to be offering vacation rental accommodation, that is absolutely necessary that they license. So this section makes it an offense to operate advertise short-term rental accommodation without being registered, inspected, and licensed. And Mr. Speaker, when we look at it, Clause 4.3 of the bill, it makes it clear that if a person contravenes this process, that the person is guilty of an offense and liable on conviction, and summary conviction, to a fine of $250,000.
The Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office, better known as CIPO, has officially completed its transition to Business Barbados. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy and Business, Kevin Hunt, told a town hall meeting that the change is more than a name. Deanza Robert attended that meeting and she filed this report.
Business Barbados is promising faster, more customer-focused service as it rebrands from CIPO. Permanent Secretary Kevin Hunt says the agency is overhauling its processes, staff structure, and technology.
A transformation and a transition is not an easy task, and it is never an easy task. Not only is it not an easy task, it is not an immediate task, and it's not a short task. It is one that if we want to do it completely, if we want to do it correctly, if we want to do it for longevity, it must take time. But we are equally aware that because of all of the problems that have stranglehold us for the last few years, we may not have as much time as we think. And so we're caught between building something new while fixing an existing flying plane. And that takes resources, it takes skill, it takes strategy, and it takes people with a will to make that happen.
The office recorded more than 1,500 walk-in customers in August, up from July, while business names registrations also increased. But Mr. Hunt admits a backlog remains, largely due to an outdated digital system.
We know that we have a very large part in terms of our digital system. We know that the digital system is causing problems for you, and if it's causing problems for you, it's causing problems for the staff. If it's causing problems for the staff, it's causing problems for me. If it's causing problems for me, it's causing problems for the minister, and on it goes. So we are all on the same coin, just different sides, and we need to make sure that that is rectified. That has contributed in a large measure to the backlog that exists relative to business names and other processes. And we want you to know that we are taking steps to deal with it. I have to phrase it the way taking steps because much of it we are not at liberty to speak about because of the nature of where things are at.
He also reveals that a new headquarters is expected to house Business Barbados since they are aiming at improving customer flow.
You saw some minor changes taking place in July 2025, but those changes were hampered by the limitation of size in our existing location. But with that, we want to let you know that by the end of Q1 2026, Business Barbados will be in a new location.
Officials are calling on the private sector to help test the upgraded platform to ensure a smoother business registration process. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
To sports now, West Indies have made 3 changes to the Test squad, which recently faced Australia, with the call-up of batsmen Tagenarine Chandapal and Alec Athanaze, along with a maiden call for left-arm spinner Kerry Pierre for the 2-Test series against India starting the 2nd of October. Chandapal and Athanaze have been included to bolster the top-order batting, while Pierre has been included as a second specialist spinner in the squad after performances in the West Indies Championship. The selection group has opted to rest spinner Gudakesh Moti for the red ball series, given the demands of the upcoming limited overs schedule, the highlight being the ICC T20 World Cup in February and March next year. So, the West Indies squad reads: Captain Roston Chase, his deputy Jamel Warwick, Kevlon Anderson, Athanaze, John Campbell, Chandapal, Justin Graves, Shea Hope, Kevin Imlak, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Alison Philip, Pierre and Jaden Seals. The team departs the island on the 22nd. They'll arrive in Ahmedabad on the 24th of September for the series that marks the side's second assignment in the new ICC World Test Championship cycle, their first away series. That test is set for the 2nd to the 6th of October, with the second from the 10th to the 14th of October. That's news until now. More news coming up at noon. Mornin Barbados takes a break here. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
60 minutes now after 7 o'clock, the school that's near to the Garrison, Savannah, we call it Garrison Secondary School. You know that. You know that. But they're now known as the Graydon City Secondary School. But name change does not change the legacy of the school or the duration of the legacy. Indeed, 50 years is a significant milestone, and so the school is marking that milestone this month in a very significant way. Joining me as we look at the school, its history, and the plans to mark that occasion, I have with me Kelvin Collymore, who is a teacher at the school, and their cosmetology instructor, Ashley Edwards. To both of you, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk about the Graydon City School, formerly the Garrison Secondary School. There are so many students who have done phenomenal things in our society who've come from the school. How long have you been teaching there now?
I've been there now for 21 years.
Good, so you know the history well. Ashley, how long have you been there?
I've been there for 7 years.
7?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
still young.
So Kevin, let's talk a little bit about the school, what the school represents, the motto of the school, the everything about this school, and we'll talk to you a little bit about that in just a moment, because I want to really hear about its contribution and its legacy. I know the name Graydon City alone symbolizes a lot. So talk to me about the school, what the school stands for.
Well, the Graydon City Secondary School, formerly Garrison, has been there for 50 years. It was officially opened on 11th of September 1975. And we have been blessed with some fabulous leaders, from Mr. Graydon Seeley himself all the way down to our present principal, Mrs. J. Sherelle Howard Gittings, ably assisted by our deputy, Major Rodney Millington. And we have found that these leaders, they take it personally, the school itself, and seek to put the children first, in order to bring out exactly what our motto says, all aspects of our growth. As a result, you will find Garrisonians/Gradonians all over Barbados in all fields, excelling and representing the school well.
Indeed, so we've had finance ministers, we've had attorneys at law, we have DJs and entertainers. We have a range of people who are immersed in all of our society, who are doing phenomenal things.
Yes.
And you were telling me just on my ear what? Our sound technician? Our current sound technician is an alum of the Graydon Seeley Garrison Secondary School.
Yes.
So there are people who are in the media, they're everywhere. And I'm sure I saw your smiles when I started to list the different professions of which they've found themselves. And that's literally because of the work of the teachers. It's also a part of the culture of the school over those years. And I'm sure sometimes maintaining culture can get pretty difficult.
Yes, that is true. But we see that within the school, we have a culture predominantly of caring and sharing. And those basic elements are able to bring out those more stronger aspects of life, where we see the loyalty when it comes to work, where we see the professionalism. And those are the aspects that persons see as an asset within their companies.
And that is what you do. I know, Ashley, because you're a cosmetology teacher, doesn't mean that you're all frivolous into face and look, because you do a whole lot more than that.
Yes, I do.
And I'm sure that as it relates to teaching of that particular subject alone, you spend time understanding the body, the person who is going to be using the services that your students are going to be offering as well. And you take time for them to take time to understand that.
Yes, please.
So talk to me a little bit about, I'm asking about cosmetology specifically, simply because I'm trying for people to understand how it relates to the development of the individual. How do you see it?
Okay, so for me personally, I also assist my students with their basic hygiene, because that's a major important thing in the body. They're supposed to come to school dressed well, deportment as well, because I take it very seriously. They also, some will also come to me and speak to me about certain issues as well that they're having, and I'm open up to them. So I tell people all the time, I'm not just a teacher or an instructor. You also become like a guidance counselor or a friend or even a parent towards some of these kids. So for me, trying to get them to understand that that is not just the area you're going to focus on, which is the cosmetology. You have a wide range of things that are coming under the cosmetology, as well as just the nails or the hair or the beauty aspect of it. There's a background behind it, which is just you deportment wise and how you speak, how you talk to people and stuff like that.
And I'm glad that you said it in the way you've said it, simply because oftentimes our perception of the role of the teacher is just chalkboard and everything, and that's it. But you actually engage with the students in meaningful, life-changing exchanges. And I think that's so important to be able to emphasize. And this is what the Garrison does very, very well. And so let's talk a little bit, not just about your week of activities, but I know that I've seen on socials this school song. Is this the first time you have a school song?
No.
Good. So let me talk about that for a moment, because I saw performances of the school song.
Okay. Yes. Well, the school song was written by Mr. Anthony Hinkson, and the music by Mr. David Christie. It so happens that on the very first day of school, we made sure that we honored and celebrated those persons, along with Mr. Omawali Stewart, persons who would have designed the emblems of the school. And we know that the way how the song is structured, it starts off of "Let Pride Be," right? And we are able then to allow the students to understand that it is their responsibility to represent the school and not just themselves. They don't want to be selfish, but you're representing the entire school. And we know that the school song ends off with the school motto, promote all aspects of our growth, to remind them every day that that is their mission.
And I love that fact alone. So that was the first day of school, where for those first formers who came in for the very first time, it was a call to action. And for those who've been there before, it's a timely reminder of what the school represents. And you must be able to represent that in your motto, in your school song, and in the words, let the words live. And in doing that, I like the fact that you were able to have among you some of the outstanding people who've contributed to the school because of the nature of being at the school as well, so that they can see lived examples of excellence. And I really want to commend the organizing committee for making that happen. So you had your welcoming ceremony on the 8th when school started back. Yes, we had all of that expression through culture. And I know you have your Founders Day as well?
Yes, we had that Founders Day, the 11th of September 2025.
Well,
the reason why I started is because we specifically put it on that day to mark that that'll be exactly 50 years that school was officially opened. And that occasion was fabulous. We were able to bring in the entire leadership of the school, and they were so glad to be there. They made the time to come, and we were able to put them before the present student body so they could see the leadership of the school. And it was not as though the students were fazed or afraid, but they were able to listen and to learn and to appreciate what we have as a growing legacy of that school, right? We had from, as you know, we have Mr. Graydon Seeley, who opened the innings, and then we came down the line we have the likes of Mrs. Bayer, fabulous woman, and we come down the line, and we have Dr. Myrna Belgrave.
Yes.
We have Mr. Matthew Farley.
Unforgettable.
Yes, unforgettable. Right? And then we come on the line again. We have Mr. Peter Cox, who was there with us as well. And we also have at present Mrs. J. Sherelle Howard Gittings.
Yeah. Lest we forget, those are the people on which this legacy is built. But actually talk to me a little bit about the opportunity for past students to be a part of these celebrations, because while you're celebrating the current, you're also celebrating the past, and you want the whole community. I know I think it was last year, you started something at the school. I think it was a white party or something that happened.
Yes, we did.
So let's talk a little bit about opportunities for past students, because we do have some Garrisonians in here. I know that for a fact. They sound it every day to be able to come out and be a part of these celebrations.
Okay, so we have another celebration coming up on Friday. That's our 5K walk and run, so persons can be a part of that. There's also the Health and Wellness Fair that's going to be on Friday. It's open to students between the hours of 9 and 2, and then persons on the outside can come in from 2 to 4. So they can get an idea of what's going on at school on that particular day. The walk, however, is limited to just the students and the student body, teachers and staff members.
Okay, so that 5K we're going to walk starts at 9 o'clock?
9 a.m., yes, please.
And where are you going so that we make sure we stay out the way so the students and teachers...
Mr. Collymore will help you with the road.
Okay.
What's the route?
Let me bring it up here quickly. Okay, to take it off my head would be a risk. So we're going to begin at the back gate, and then we're going to proceed on to King's Village. And then from King's Village, we are going to go on to, I have it here, yes. All right, proceed from the back gate onto King's Village. From King's Village, we're going to turn right onto Paddock Road. And then we're going to turn left onto Dighton Road. And when we get to Dighton Road, we're going to turn left then on Darkeith Hill. So we go up, and then we're by the post office, and then we turn down. And when we get the bottom of Darkeith Hill, we're going to turn left again onto Darkeith Road, right there by the 7 Days Adventist School.
Yes, I'm seeing it. I'm following.
All right, and then we're going to allow persons, because the time we get to Paddock Road, we're going to get 1.5K. We're going to allow persons who believe that they did their part to make that left and go up the road, right? But others who can continue on will continue on.
So the students will continue.
Yes, for certain. Right. Right. And then we're going to continue on down the road until we get to the garrison.
Yes.
We're going to circle the garrison. And then when we get around where the emergency vehicles come in, we're going to do what we call the iconic Mr. Rock lap. He was a past games master. And every person who went to garrison will know about the iconic Mr. Rock lap. After they made one of those laps, they're going to exit where they entered, proceed back onto the Darkeith Road, and then they're going to go up and make the right onto Paddock Road.
Okay, and back to the school.
And back to the school. For a hero's welcome.
And for a hero's welcome, wow, this is fantastic. And it's important that we knew that route, because I want people, as you see the children and the adults come by, cheer them on, applaud them, make way for them, because it's their moment indeed. It's the moment of the grade and Sealy Secondary School to shine, because you've done some outstanding things over the years, over those 50 years, and you still continue to do so. You're still formidable in sports, because you show up at the school sports every year. And so that's what we want to be able to celebrate, the hero's welcome at the end of it all. And then the health fair continues until 2 in the
Until 4
afternoon.
p.m.
Until 2 for the students.
Until 2 for the students and 4
then
for the
us,
adults.
general public, can come in to be a part of the health fair from 2 to 4.
Yes, please.
And so it's open time for all of us. So past students, anyone who is just curious as what happens behind this gate, you can come in and see for yourself, open to the public to be a part of it. I know you're having also coming up the Thanksgiving service.
Yes. That's going to occur on the 21st.
You can use my notes right here, lad.
Yes. Right?
It's right on the screen, by the way, for all of you Garrisonians and Great and Sealy people. It's on your screen. You're invited to the church service.
Right? So on the 21st, we're going to have our Thanksgiving church service at St. Matthias Church. That's going to begin at 9 a.m. And we are looking to thank God for bringing us through these 50 years and to pray for his help for the next 50.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Right?
And to bless the work of the people who are there now, so that the school is able to maintain that legacy and to continue to build on that legacy as well. That's important indeed. So again, an opportunity for past students to come and be a part. And I'm sure that as you're coming to be a part, you wear your tie with pride. Are you encouraging that as well?
Of course, certainly.
Good. So wear your tie. If you can, wear your colors and come out and give full support in the church service as well. That's on the 21st. That's this coming Sunday, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
This coming Sunday, St. Matthias Anglican Church. That begins at 9 in the morning. It's a celebration of Thanksgiving for the 50 years of the contribution of the Great and Sealy School to Barbados, not just to its community alone, but to Barbados. And so as one of those who has benefited over those 50 years from the excellence in tutelage, the excellence in all of the extracurricular activity as well, we want you to be a part. Wear your school tie with pride, wear your school colors with pride, assemble at the church as well and give thanks over time indeed. The other part I'm looking forward to actually here is what's going to be happening on the 29th, which is a time capsule. Can you talk about that, or is this Calvin?
Mr. Collingwood.
Yes.
Calvin?
Yes, well, at the committee when we discussed it, we said, you know what, it'd be good to mark this 50th anniversary by organizing a time capsule so that in the next 50 years, when we're long gone,
talk about yourself. Go ahead. Just listen to you. Yes.
that person will be able to get a glimpse of those things that we would have appreciated, those fond memories, and those things would have impacted us greatly, that would also speak into their lives. So we made the appeal, and we're encouraging persons to bring in all those memorabilia, those certain special items, writings, any reflections on teachers or experiences, so that this could form part of the time capsule. And we want to have that ready by the 29th.
So this is an open call to just past students or anyone at all to add to their collection?
Personally, we want it to be alumni.
Right, so just those who are part of the alumni, you can contribute to the time, what goes into the time capsule.
Yes.
You've determined what you want to put in generally. And
yes.
So if we want to make sure that we are not giving you trash, we just contact the school, right? To get a sense of what it is you're looking for.
That's correct.
And I said that deliberately because people use this as an opportunity just to get rid of.
Yeah.
We're saying if you have significant memorabilia that marks all of the contribution to the school that you think is deserving of legacy, this is where your contribution really counts. And so you're asked to bring all of them to the school?
Yes, to the school, and just leave it at the office. Attention, Mr. Cullimore, and I will come and receive it.
You're a busy man, boy.
And we will, then we will, as a committee, will determine if it is gold or
Silver.
Just
brass, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
you will determine what it is that really goes in.
Correct.
For the longevity you're looking at. And the plan is to bury that time capsule on the school's compound?
Well, that was personally my intention. However...
Sounds like mine too.
However, I did not win that vote. I was told very gently that it needs to go with us.
Okay.
Because we are
Oh,
scheduled.
I get you, yes.
We are scheduled to make a movement, right? So I give way.
Okay.
And we will preserve it and carry it with us.
So right now you're just putting it into the time capsule. You're not burying the time capsule yet.
Not as I would
I
have
get you.
liked.
Until you get to your new location.
Correct.
All fingers crossed that happens really soon. That's on Cullimore Rock. Folks, you know this has been in the news for a little while now. And so you have until what deadline to get this bits to you?
Well, I'm going to... We were looking at the 29th.
You put it into the time capsule on the 29th?
Yes. So we are telling persons, we have to the Friday before to bring in that stuff. It should be the 26th.
Next week Friday?
Yes, next week Friday.
So we have until next week Friday to get your information in for the time capsule, which is capturing all, but also projecting over the next 50 years. So if you have a lovely little message that you want to give to those students who will be opening up the time capsule, unearthing the time capsule 50 years from now that you think they need to know, then you also get that message in. So think about it. You have until next Friday to get your thoughts together and your items together to present it to Mr. Cullimore at the school, the Grade and Sealy Secondary, and let's see what goes into the time capsule and get ready for its burial once they've arrived at their new location. So movement's coming up. The celebrity cricket match, that's also happening on the 25th, coming up.
Yes.
Is that you as well? Actually, what do you could talk about?
I was speaking about the 5K walk and the fundraiser.
Okay. Yeah. All right, got you.
Yes,
All
sir. Yes, please. Okay, so that celebrity cricket match, that is going to be an event where it's going to be a 20 overside tape ball match. And we're inviting persons from alumni to come out and not only support, but actually play. We will have persons who we know. We just got
confirmation from?
Yes, from Michael Ashley. He said he'd be there to take part.
Yeah, he fancies himself a cricketer. Of
Yes.
note.
Right. And we have other persons who will be there. We have, of course, Dean Smith.
Yes.
Right. And we have Jafari Topping. Those are known players. And then we have persons who are not known players but can play, like Jude Clark and Richard Straker and Kyle Franklin. Right. So we're gonna have a great time on that occasion, and we really want the public to come and support the school.
Yeah.
We are going to kindly ask for we're not gonna have an entrance fee, but we're gonna ask for a contribution when persons are coming in to the grounds.
What kind of contribution? Cash or kind? What?
Preferably cash.
Okay.
Right. But if they bring kind, we will not refuse. Right. On that occasion.
All right. So this happens at Bayland playing field.
Yes, our home, we call it our home playing field.
Okay.
We played a lot of our matches over the years there under the stewardship of Mr. Elvis Howard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous guy.
Yes.
A great mentor. And, he is organizing this, so we know it's going to go off very well.
If you're looking at your screens, ladies and gentlemen, you see all the information we're talking about this celebrity cricket match. Tape ball at night here. Nobody can bowl with a tape ball at me at night, but nonetheless, tape ball cricket is a T20 and it's being played on the Bayland pasture, as they call it, Bayland playing field. And we want you to really come out in your numbers and give support. Your little cash donation, I mean, they're not saying it's an entry fee, it's a cash donation that you're making. If you can make a donation in kind as well, whether it's a tinned item that they can give to someone in need, that is encouraged. And so we want you to come out and not just watch the cricket and have a good time and laugh at the celebrities, but also to give back to the community in a very significant way in cash, or by a donation of some food item or some other item that the school can use to help someone else as well. That's happening on the 25th of September.
Correct.
On the evening of the 25th of September from 6:30 is when the match starts. 6:30. I'm sure you have the surrounding entertainment, you know, with DJ music and all the rest of it. And you have some fantastic DJs who've come through your school.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're working with them as well to entertain
Yes.
you. Fantastic. And then I like this one, the anniversary gala. I love galas. What are you looking at me for? That's not happening anymore?
No, it is. It's
Okay.
that, I was just saying that you were going to say Mr. Cullimore again.
Oh, this is what is from...
No, I
just see you again.
Yes.
So let's talk about that now.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, that's promising to be a very surprising night. Why use the word
That's a big
surprising?
word, yes.
Because persons who are going to be honored on that night don't know they're going to be honored on that night. But now they may have an idea.
Well, everyone is invited. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Everyone is invited, and you don't know if you're going to be the one who will be honored. That's it.
Yeah.
We all show up.
So that function was quickly subscribed.
Oh, great. It's already closed. Wow. That's good. That shows the interest. That shows interest.
Yes.
That shows support. I like that fact. So it's already subscribed, but it's coming up. So just for our knowledge now, it's happening indeed. And so past Garrisonians, Graydonsilians, you know for sure that you need to show up. And it's good that you will show up and dress in your finery. This is a signal moment. 50 years. 50 years of the school's contribution to Barbados and its community. And it's 50 years for you now to celebrate as you have taken a moment just to breathe in that for this milestone. And so this anniversary gala is happening where?
It's going to occur at Accra.
Okay.
Hotel Beach and Spa. And it's going to schedule to begin at 6:30. And we're going to, again, we normally use these, yes, we're going to have a good time of celebration and such like, but we use these occasions to honor past alumni who have given on and beyond to help in the aid of the school. Not only monetary, but of their time. You know, I could just see, for example, alumni, we just call them sometimes last minute and say, oh, we are having a first year orientation. Could you come and talk to these students? Sure. I mean, these are busy people. And they come and they give of their best.
We love our
so,
schools.
you know, we need to let them know we appreciate them so that they be encouraged and others will be encouraged as well.
Don't give any more hints. So that's one person for sure we don't know of, indeed. But you know, Ashley, I just want to give you a chance to reinforce again the upcoming on the 19th, the fun walk and run. Let's remind quickly people about that.
Okay, so on the 19th, we have our 5K fun walk and run. It's scheduled to start at 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. We're going to end off with our Heroes Welcome. The students are going to be dressed in their shirts of the emblem, what's the name of it? The footprint on the shirt.
Oh, strong steps.
Strong steps.
Strong steps. It's right there on your screen. Every step is stronger when we do it together, indeed. And so that's what it's about. So we'll have that emblem. So they're wearing those shirts, have their Heroes Welcome, and then we go into the health fair.
Yes, please. So for our booths, we have Chakra Spa, we have Guardian Insurance, Sagicor Insurance. We also have Spinny coming to do a little workshop. We also have some sponsors like PAHO, Standing Name Charitable Trust, Red Cross Society, and anybody else I'm missing?
And Pure.
And Pure, yes, our
Yes.
water supply.
It's going to be quite an occasion. And then that's for the students until 2, and then for everybody else to come into the school's compound from 2 to 4.
We also have a little surprise. We have our cosmetology students doing manicures and pedicures on that day. Yes, so we're not charging, but we're asking for a little tip for the students. So
What day of the week is the 19th again?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. It's this coming Friday?
Yes, please.
Okay, folks, after 2 o'clock, find me at Greater City for the manicure, pedicure, indeed. So we want you all to come out and be a part of it, indeed. And I really commend the school. Congratulations on this anniversary. You've done such a wonderful plan of activities to market. It's already receiving resounding responses because we see it in our media. I want to encourage you to continue doing well at the school, what you do at the school, to turn out important young people who are the future of Barbados.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear how the time capsule works and goes, because I'd love to be able to be a part of that if I can. And so I want to wish you well, you and the community.
Yes,
Right?
and just a slipping, there's always those quiet heroes at the back. They give of their time, they come and do work at the school, and you know, they're not put on a poster or anything like that, but publicly, you know, we want to thank those from the alumni who were giving up their time and their resources in order to make this entire celebrations a total success, right?
Well
including the folks in the office, board of management. You know, they really work very hard to make these things come off successfully, and they're normally not acknowledged, but we take the opportunity to do that right now.
And they've empowered you to do what you do.
That is
so
correct.
Well done. Well done indeed. Kelvin Collymore is his name. He's a teacher, but he's also leading the committee, it seems, to me. Am I right?
Yes.
Got it. Good. We see you're the man in charge. And with him is Ashley Edwards, who is a cosmetology instructor there at the school indeed. And the school is marking 50 years, a significant milestone. Follow the calendar of activities, get up to be a part of them all. And if you're a past student, time for you to celebrate. Have a really good time. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having
You're welcome.
us.
You're welcome. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Celebratory microbiome probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's always tough for anyone to say goodbye, and so we had the opportunity just before she left Barbados to sit with the outgoing EU ambassador to Barbados and the region, Małgorzata Wasilewska. And here is that conversation. Take a look.
Yes.
You came with such a a breath of fresh air to the office. We all connected with you instantly. Your smile, your look, the ease with which you found yourself immersing into our culture. How would you describe so far your experience in the Caribbean?
You're making me blush. Thank you so much for these kind words. It's been an incredible privilege and joy and pure pleasure to have worked for 9 years in the Caribbean, 5 of which were here in Barbados. There was never a dull moment, never a day that I could plan fully and feel like I was really in control of it. And of course, a joy for a diplomat at the end of my career, because I will be retiring after this posting, to have been ambassador at the time of such incredible political leadership, not only for Barbados, but for the region and for the world.
Yes.
It really has been an incredible privilege.
Within all of those 9 years, there were moments of global change. We had the pandemic, and we had so many other things happening. Where you sat in your office, how did you manage what your responsibilities were during all of that?
Well, first of all, I arrived in the middle of COVID, so
Yes.
for the first 2 weeks I didn't even see anybody. I didn't even get to go to my office. And then just as the country was about to reopen, of course, the volcano and the ash came here, which was almost apocalyptic in a sense. You could not do anything, as you remember very well. It was impossible almost to work and engage with people in the first year. I did majority of presentation of my credentials online. Never got to meet the people for more than a year, so that was quite special. And I think for that reason, I was particularly happy to get an extra year, almost to make up for that. But I also did not get to meet a lot of local people with all the restrictions, with the masks. I remember arriving here from Jamaica, where I thought I got used to the Jamaican accent, and being here with a mask, going to supermarket and saying, "I'm really sorry, I apologize, I'm new in the country, but I cannot understand what you're saying." So I would ask people to take the mask off.
Yes.
It was very complicated, but I also have to say very difficult in some places, for example, with access to vaccines. We were all in my team vaccinated thanks to the courtesy and generosity of the government. Our headquarters did not have a vaccine available for us at the time. So watching and experiencing that fantastic solidarity and generosity of the country, but also the impossible divisions that caused. That was at times quite hard.
Yeah.
But there are other aspects, of course.
Yes.
The world's gone crazy. We've got the heartbreaking situation in Gaza. We've got the war in Ukraine that is right on the borders of Europe. And I must say this region was the first one to condemn the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. And that is such a show of democratic principles that this region stands for. And I really need to thank the Caribbean for that. But of course, the situation in Haiti on your own doorstep is equally heartbreaking. And now we have arms race. So as you know, I grew up in communist Poland in the middle of arms race. And it feels really quite depressing that at the end of my career, I'm seeing arms race coming back again. And Europe has to find a way to defend itself, and hopefully it will not be needed. But it's not the best reflection, I have to say.
Yeah, understood. Did you set yourself certain goals and targets prior to arrival in your office here in Barbados, and were you able to achieve majority, if not all, of the targets you've set?
It doesn't quite work like that. You know, I am not that influential inside our system to be able to choose the strategic priorities for the posting. They're sort of outlined for you, and things have changed in our setup as well. We are now much more focusing on trying to attract investments and bring private sector from Europe to the region. Sort of moving away a little bit from traditional development assistance. And while this was not the easiest thing to convey and build trust upon, we're really seeing that that can be much more transformational, and it's a win-win for both sides. So we have many examples of good investments coming and others that will come very soon. But I think maybe at the political level, I remember Prime Minister in my first meeting with her expressing a little bit of disappointment that the leadership in Europe was not engaging adequately. In the 5 years that I've been here, we had, I think, 4 visits by different commissioners in Barbados. We had Vice President of the Commission, and last February, the President of the Commission coming to Barbados to the meeting of heads of government. There has been an exponential rise in terms of engagement and visits and attention that Europe is paying to the region. And I wish I could take some credit for that, but of course that is because of the incredible leadership and charisma of your Prime Minister. But she's also made sure that this attention is not on Barbados alone, it's on all of the Caribbean. So that's been probably the biggest change. For me, maybe also that apart from the political level, I have experienced also engagement through the different sectors like renewable energy, support to pharmaceuticals, to health sector. I've also had the joy of playing road tennis and supporting road tennis here, engaging with children at schools with the outdoor learning spaces. We just hope that more kids as they grow up will choose to come and study in Europe. Our universities are of excellent quality, accessible, they can study in English, and they're much cheaper.
Yes, yes. I was always amazed at how you were able to immerse yourself in the culture so easily. I remember one Saturday going to the supermarket, and who should I see leaving the supermarket, pushing her trolley to her car, Malgorzata Vasilievska. And so to see you move like a Bajan, so to speak, made it so wonderful to watch how you handled your office. What was it about Barbados that made it so easy for you to find your footing so quickly?
People are very, very warm and very welcoming here. It takes you a little bit of time until you accept a person. So I always tell my colleagues who arrive here, be very careful how you enter the country. And those first impressions are extremely important. So it takes a little while, but then once you embrace the visitor, the outsider, that feels like it's for life. And I've really enjoyed that. I've tried to experience and see things at different levels, and it's so enjoyable. It's so easy here. Everything is accessible. You're never more than 20 minutes ride from your beautiful ocean that I try to enjoy every day. There's so much to do. And I think people often make a mistake thinking that on a small island there is not much to do. It's quite the opposite. So work on one hand, a lot of fun, a lot of trying to experience local games, local food, local traditions as much as possible.
Yeah. You're preparing to retire.
I am.
The sound of that in your ear, how does it make you feel?
I'm ready.
I'm
ready. I feel so incredibly privileged, as I said, having grown up in communist Poland, then to join the EU, then to work for the European institutions, and finally to represent the people of 27 countries in this beautiful region. It is a pure privilege and joy, but I'm ready. I think 9 years as an ambassador is more than I ever hoped for. I've had wonderful collaboration, and I'd like to thank the government of Barbados and also the governments of the region for being so engaging and so accepting. I think we elevated the relationship to incredible space, and now the challenge is how to maintain that. But the world's gone crazy, and I must admit that on a personal level, I'm ready not to be a diplomat, but
I get you there.
A private person. It's going to be very hard to leave this region, but I do hope to come back. And one of the most exciting things just before I leave that is happening is that there is a big investor from Europe that will start bringing good quality, cheaper food products directly from Europe to the region. They will be labeled Euro Fresh, so watch out for that. And I'd love to come back and see that actually happen and have an impact on the impossible cost of living here. So more of Europe on your shelves hopefully soon. And on the economic partnership agreement, they should be coming here without any tariffs. And this investor is also interested in taking beautiful exotic products from the region back to Europe. So what a fantastic moment to finish.
What a fantastic job you've done while you've been here as well, making all of this possible. You know, as I'm listening to you, I have that little lump in the throat that makes me feel so sad.
Thanks, John.
Because Barbados connected so easily to you. Your warmth was not just hot, but it was radiating, and we felt it to the point where we were empowered by it. You showed up in spaces that most ambassadors would not, and you were a part of our culture. I am so pleased to have met you. You challenged us to go beyond our regular thoughts, and I know you will continue to do so. I'll keep reading the paper, I'll keep watching the press to see what you're up to. But I thank you for your service, sincerely do. On behalf of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, you were always ready to talk to us. You were always accessible to engage with us. And you made it so simple, so easy to understand the message of the European Union. I know it's tough. It's tough for me too. But I wish you the absolute best with great health in your retirement. And keep that smile that's magical, that opens doors and makes people just want to be a part of who you are. Thank you so very much, Margajata.
Thank you so much, Pearson. You're so kind, and I'm glad you didn't go on, because the lump in my throat would make me cry. I'm sure I will be back one way or another, and I just hope that the relationship and knowledge between the Caribbean and the 27 member states of Europe will keep growing. It is far, but it's much closer than you think. So please continue remembering that we are one of your, if not the most reliable partner, and we're here to stay.
That's a wonderful point on which to end. We wish we could keep her forever, but she has to take her retirement. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For engaging with me. All the absolute best to you, always.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome indeed. Margajata Vasilievska, the EU ambassador to Barbados, indeed. She's going on retirement, but boy, did she pack a punch. And we thank her for packing that punch, because we are now the better for it indeed. Enjoy talking to her there indeed. We wish her well on her retirement. And so we just got some news of a collision just outside of the Glebe Polyclinic in St. George, one that has resulted in some injuries as well. So we want to encourage you, if you're taking that route, to find an alternate route or to travel very, very carefully through there. We are going to bring you updates as we know more. That's our time till now. My team joins me wishing all of you a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.